Gruesome Magazine.
Hello, once again, I'm Doc Rotten, and this is Gruesome Magazine, where we review the very latest streaming and video on-demand horror movies. Each week, my co-hosts, Jeff Mohr, Crystal Cleveland, Dave Dreher, and I will take a look at various spooky, scary, and gory genre offerings. Tonight, we review The Old Ways. You may not have heard about this because it's heading to festivals near you, either physically or online, depending on what happens with the rest of 2020. This we're very fortunate to review this, and this is going to be very exciting. We hope you enjoy it. I'm going to introduce the crew here, and then we're going to get into the reviews. So stick around. All right, joining me tonight is the one and only Jeff Mohr. Jeff, how you doing?
I'm doing great. That's it.
And you're excited.
I'm doing great. Oh, I am excited. I am excited. More. Well, there wasn't quite as many. I thought we were going to have a lot of subtitles for Dave this time, but it turned out not too bad.
No, wasn't too bad. Guys didn't piss me off too much this time.
All right. Up next, our favorite Bruja. The Crystal Cleveland, the living dead girl. Somewhere. There she is. How you doing?
I'm doing great, too.
Oh man, who's up beside you?
You couldn't tell, but I said that with gusto. I feel great.
Isn't she lovely? Look
Kiss
at
her on the nose. Kiss her on the nose. Kiss her on the nose.
Yay!
Okay, yeah. Whew, I got it the right side. I'm usually like, oh, sorry, my bad.
No, come here with your. No,
actually, that could be a quick like Halloween costume.
I can see your mind going, no, the other way.
Yeah, I do. I'll be like,
feedback. Jeff, move.
Oh my God.
All right. Sorry about that.
That's what happens when you make fun of the old witch lady.
I know.
Do that shit.
All right.
She's beautiful.
Jeff is trying to realize that he's on mute, but that's all right. I'm going to unmute him in a bit. All right, let's round out the crew with the one and only Dave Dreher.
Thanks for noticing.
Listen. All right, with that,
my favorite. It's funny.
Bring Jeff back in. Yes, we can. All right, welcome back, Jeff.
I promise I won't move again.
Don't move. Frozen. All right. Oh God. Well, we're doing well. All right. So what are we doing? We're going to review The Old Ways. We give our first impressions and we talk about the film a little bit, and then we wrap things up with our final thoughts, our score, and our favorite scene. But let's figure out. You probably want to which is Old Ways? I want to know about the Old Ways. Well, let's talk about it. All right. We did a world premiere at the 2020, and is it Sitges? How did you say it was, Jeff?
Sitges?
Do I have it?
Oh,
do I have it spelled wrong?
Sitges?
I thought it was Sitges.
I thought it was too. I might have it spelled wrong. That's my fault. But it's from Soapbox Films. It will be heading your way soon, and I think I'm going to kind of bury the lead and say, I think you should look out for this film. All right.
Yeah.
The director is Christopher Alender. The writer is Marcos Gabriel. The cast includes Brigitte, Canales, Andrea Cortés. I did not pronounce that right. Julia Vera, Sal Lopez, and AJ Bowen. The synopsis is Cristina, a journalist of Mexican origin, travels to her ancestral home in Veracruz to investigate a story of sorcery and healing. There, she is kidnapped by a group of locals who claim she's the devil incarnate. It's a possession film. Yeah, and it has witches. Yeah, and it's gory. Yeah. I had no idea what was going to happen in this movie, so this was a lot of fun. But let's find out what the crew thought. We're going to start off with Jeff Mohr. Jeff Mohr, what was your first impression of The Old Ways?
I like this stuff. I've gotten to where I really kind of like things that at least purport to be set in other cultures. I think a lot of this, it says it's in Mexico, but I think a lot of it there's a lot of credits to the Puerto Rican Film Board or something at the end. So I thought maybe it was shot in Puerto Rico, but it was a lot of fun. I like how it sort of rolls out it gives reveals as you go along. So you don't really know exactly what the issue is to start with, except for this woman went someplace she was told not to go. You learn fairly quickly. And when she tries to blame him, they say, "Hey, I told you not to go there." You know, it's the old "don't do that." So anyway, I enjoyed it. I liked the makeup. I liked the characters. I liked the witch, and she was decent. And what was her name? Luz. Yep. Julia Vera. She was very good, as was her son Sal Lopez as Javi. There's basically 4 characters that you see a lot of in this film, and they're all very good, and I enjoyed that. I thought the special effects were decent. I'm trying to think. I just thought it was an interesting story. Now, there was some things about it that I didn't like, where it kind of felt a little, I don't know how to say this, a little, where, well, I'm going to save it, see if Doc says it better. But I enjoyed this, and especially the ending. The last, 30 minutes, I felt like really kicked it into high gear, and then it stuck the landing.
Yes, it did. All right. This is going to be fun. I can't wait to get around back to what you're talking about there. All right. Up next is the one and only Dave Dreher. Dave, what is your first impression of The Old Boys?
I was kind of surprised to find out that that this wasn't really premiering anywhere. I think I texted you, Doc, and asked you, I'm like, what is this? Why does this exist? Where is it coming from? So the fact that this is just now hitting the festival circuit is kind of exciting, because I feel like we're on the cutting edge of something here, because this was a really good movie.
Yeah.
I kind of liked how, I went into it not knowing what was going on, and I definitely got the feeling that our lead character was kind of the same. She didn't know what was going on. We were all kind of learning it together. Even the lady in the film didn't know what was going on. So yeah, it was a lot of fun. I was excited it wasn't subtitled. Everything just kind of worked. It's kind of hard to give too much first impression without giving too much away. And I don't want to give anything away, because you really need to kind of experience it for yourself. But definitely a lot of body horror going on. I don't think anybody would argue that. We have things coming out of places things shouldn't come out of. And I kind of, for a while, I was wondering if the demon wasn't drugs, because it kind of shocked me when we find out that she's shooting up with heroin. And I was like, well, that's kind of odd. So I thought maybe for a while it was going to turn out that this was actually like an intervention from her old family, because she's back in her home, in her homeland. So, but they didn't go there. It turns out that it really is a witch. Yeah, it was fun. It kept me guessing, kept me interested. I liked it a lot.
Yeah, it is going to be very difficult not to spoil things. So we're likely going to give away small spoilers, but we're definitely going to stay away from the big drops here. I hope. We're gonna try.
I think it'll be fine.
But so this actually listed as a film that's coming out in 2021 . So this
nice.
This is very exciting. Very
look
exciting.
At us being all cutting edge and shit.
Yeah, that's us for you. All right, Crystal Cleveland.
Yay!
You're up next.
So obviously, I love this movie. It's witches again. Yay! And I mean, technically, brujas. I mean, look at her. Like, she's super spooky.
But is she a good witch or a bad witch? Don't answer that.
I think it's obvious.
Yeah, I do too.
So
I don't think
obvious.
we're led to believe. We're led to believe she's one way, but in honest, she is another way.
I mean, I think the whole movie is super self-explanatory. I don't think there's really much that's like, it's a very straightforward story. I mean, maybe it's just because I grew up around a lot of this stuff that it doesn't.
Did you?
Seem,
okay.
Well, yeah, I grew up in Corpus Christi, and we had a lot of this stuff, like the eggs and all that sort of. Yeah, we had a lot of that stuff. That's super aloha, and yeah, it's like I love it. I think it's I love the superstition behind it all too. I mean, I know a lot of people call him crazy and stuff, but I do think that there is something to it all, and I love that they went really far with this. I think it's a brilliant execution, because when you really think about it, they filmed, in some random office, wherever that was. It could have been anywhere, and some janky ass little cabin and outside and a cave. Yeah, so really they made a movie that I really loved and was pretty impressed by, with very little location. So I think it was smartly done, and I think that they used some creative lighting. I think that the spookiness was just right. Like they used the proper timing and everything with it. And I agree with Dave. God, the worst part of the movie for me was that she was a heroin addict. That was like, oh, really? You do find out more about her character in the past and everything like that. And so you kind of understand where she's coming from. And it's kind of nice that, you know, she has a backstory that relates to this. And then, of course, she has a family member there. So I don't know. I really love this movie. I think it's brilliant. I didn't have any issues with it. So I don't know what y'all are going to say as far as your issues are, but I will fight you. I will fight you. So yeah, I loved it.
Okay. This is a really fun film. It really kicks into gear and it surprises you. It has a lot of, it surprises you with character turns, character development. There's only 4 characters really. We have Cristina, who's our lead, her cousin Miranda, right? Who is kind of our in between, right? In between, civilization and this culture that we're encountering. And then we got Luz and Javi, who are they're witch doctors more than witches, right? But so it's kind of, what do we call it, Dave? We call it like a movie in a bottle, right? Or one of those, I forget what the thing is. Thomas used to say it all the time, but we're in this cabin for the majority of the film. Most of the time she's actually, chained up. Eventually that changes, but because she's desperate to escape, but she also is a very complex person. There's a lot going on with her, and there's and as the film progresses, you're trying to figure out what is natural and what is supernatural going on. Okay, so I'm going to start out with what I absolutely love in this film, and that's the cinematography. I think this film is shot so beautifully well. You were talking about the lighting. The lighting is so good. It's so crisp, and because you're in such close quarters, but you get the depth of field, which is important because a lot of times that depth of field is where the horror is happening, right? Our character doesn't believe, and her cousin does, and that's the initial conflict. It grows from there, and our character grows, and that's what eventually 100% won me over, is the growth of the Cristina character and how she has changed, arguably for the better, maybe not some cases. But
I would say totally, yeah.
Depending on your perspective, but I think she does become a better person. She does go through some shit to get there, but it's so there's a lot to like, and yes, it sticks to the landing 3 times. Okay. With that, I'm going to seg into my some of the things that kind of made it a little bumpy getting there. Now, with what I'm going to say,
are you talking about like the fact that it was a process?
No. Okay. I'll
Okay.
get there. I don't know how much I can say without spoiling it, but
I can think of 2, but I'm not sure.
No, there's 3. There's definitely 3, and I will share if I can't make it clear in this review, we'll talk about it after the show. Okay. But anyway, so I thought the structure was a little clunky, and it I took a little while warming up to the clunkiness. we're thrown right into it, and that's fine. But warming up to the lead character took a little bit. So I really wasn't feeling her danger and stuff for the first little bit. Eventually that changes. So it wins me over. So there's a good thing. So there's this repetitive kind of, what are we going to do with the ending? Because we have the ceremony ending kind of thing, the process, if you will. Then there's another ending after that. And then after that, we have AJ Bowen and arguably a third ending. To me, it's like, oh, we got a sequel. Let's get it in here just in case. But that's me being really nitpicky. I'm saying really, really nitpicky, because by the time that is actually happening, I'm having a great time and I'm loving it.
I see.
And I think this movie absolutely sticks the ending, lands the ending, sticks the landing, whatever. I'm just mixing my metaphors left and right. But it's the representation of the Bruja is what I love the most. I'm going to bring Crystal back into here because
I think I know what you're talking about. I'm like, there's no death. There's no death to certain things, is what I'm saying. So, and the energy will transfer. And then I think the goal was to get it out of their house and back to La Boca.
Yeah, we
and
might
then
be. That might
when
be
someone goes to La Boca,
more details than we need for this review. But
yeah, but then when someone goes there again, when they're not supposed to, then it has another way to, leave.
Well, there's other things happening too. But the point I was making was the Luz, who's in the picture behind you there, is one of my favorite representations of a witch in recent times. It's very unique. She is very complex for the character. I mean, she isn't written that way, but she becomes that way. It's really fascinating. And it's
she
just
doesn't say much.
It's just in her. It's just in her personality, right?
Okay.
It's just in her personality, the way she kind of treats our lead initially versus later, and then of course toward the end.
I don't think that this is too much to give away, but if you knew that if you performed exorcisms and 9 times out of 10 the person died, I wouldn't be very open to them as well, because you don't want to get attached.
No.
Yeah.
So I want to know, Jeff, how did you? I don't know what your take is on like exorcism movies, or which this is, but it isn't. How realistic do you feel this was portrayed as far as the culture in which it was occurring? Did it feel accurate and authentic?
It felt accurate, but I have no way of knowing that. I mean, I like the whole thing of how they had it set up with the pictograms on the wall.
Yes.
Later kind of meant the stages of what was going on. And and then they marked them off as they passed them. One of the things I really liked, and I don't know that I want to bring it up just because I thought it was really cool, because who was it? I think it was Dave said something about things coming out of places they shouldn't come out of, or
surgery,
something like that.
That's real.
Yeah,
they do that.
Yeah.
There are people who do that. So,
but the very first depiction of that, the first thing that she does, looked a whole lot like something the Amazing Randy used to always do.
Yeah.
To show how that was fake. But the second one, nope. That looked absolutely real, which I thought was cool how they did it that way. They went one stage and then the second stage. So I don't know if I'm answering your question, but I liked it. I liked the supernatural stuff. Exorcisms creeped the hell out of me. A good one, and I thought this one was pretty good. And we don't get the big reveal until the very end, which I think is good. It keeps the anticipation going.
Yeah, that's a great segue into the question I have for Dave, because Dave, we don't necessarily have a lot of gore, but when we do have gore, it actually kind of goes all out, and it's the scene that Jeff was talking about. Did you is there something else I'm missing, or did that satisfy your lust for gore in your movies?
Yeah. Again, it seems like we talked about this a lot recently, but it has to service the story, and I think there's enough there to service the story this time around. And I kind of listened to you three talk about it, and I don't know, maybe it's not there. So I just read into it, but I got kind of a feeling that there was a little bit of a story of destiny in this. Like,
yes,
she was
absolutely,
meant to
right,
come back.
absolutely.
This was predetermined that she was going to come, and those things on the wall were them reading the signs that she's the one that's come back to.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Again, I don't want to say too much because I don't want to ruin the story. But so I was looking at story kind of from that way, not that
that's
she
awesome.
was
Yeah,
being held captive or that, but it was just her time.
That makes so much more sense too, because of the way he reacts. He's like, "No, it's not my." Like, she's like, "What are you going to do when your grandmother passes away?" He's like, "Oh no, that's not my job." Like, he already knew that it wasn't meant for him. And why would he think that? Like, surely you wouldn't just leave that. She kept saying, "Well, someone's got to do this." He's like,
Yep.
Well,
that's not me.
Yeah.
Look in the mirror, baby.
Well, we go back to what happened with her mother, and I'm not going to go too far, Doc. Don't worry. That it could easily have been. She left, and maybe she left before the process was completed. So this is the circle coming back around. Like, that makes sense to me.
You can't hide from destiny. That's what I took away from it. You can't hide from destiny.
Oh man,
There's no escaping destiny.
Oh, no escaping destiny. Why am I going back to Young Frankenstein? All right, let's stop while we're ahead, because I feel like we're dancing really close to spoilers.
We are. Yes.
So I think you can get a read on our excitement for being able to review this film and watch it. It was a pleasure. So thanks to those who made this possible. Thank you, Jeff, for arranging that. But let's dive into the end of our show, which is what you want to see. This is our final thoughts, our score, and our favorite scene, which is going to be easy to choose, hard to talk about, because some of the favorite scenes are very spoilery, and we may not be able to say exactly what they are. So bear with us on that. When you see the film, either later this year or into 2021, you come back to this, you'll know exactly what we're talking about. Wow, that helps. That doesn't really. But anyway, before we do that, if you are still here and listen to me blabber on, thank you. And hit the subscribe button down below. That helps other people find us as well. You hit the like button, hit the bell if you want to be reminded of future reviews, and leave us a comment. Tell us if you're excited about seeing this movie. Tell me if you've seen the movie. I'm
really interested in. I think a lot of people are going to like this one.
I think a lot of people are going to be talking about this movie next year. I really feel like this is going to hit, and people are going to talk about it. It's a lot of fun, and the lead is really good too. Brigitte Canales. She's really good. She's really good. Very strong, and she holds a lot of the film. She's basically very much the focus. But anyway, stop all that nonsense. Let's get into our final thoughts, our score, and favorite scene. And Jeff Mohr, you're up first, sir.
Okie dokie. So my hesitations were totally allayed later on, and so Doc's and mine were different, I think. One of the things that bothered me, and this is one of the things I get into a lot, and don't jump in, Crystal, because I'm going to back out of it before I get done. But I felt like the lead's character was just talking too much. It was just like, and nobody was answering her, and it was getting on my nerves. I was like, But then later I thought, let's see. She's chained to a bed inside this room after she passed out in a cave, and nobody will tell her what's going on. Yeah, you'd be a little bit freaked, right? Mm-hmm. Plus, there's the drug thing going on that Dave brought up, so I might need something. So afterwards, I thought, you know what, that actually makes sense that she would have been talking that much. I like this a lot. Again, I like the way the story unfolded. I'm giving this a 4.
Nice.
And since I get to go first, how can I say this? I'm taking and I can't even say that word. I'm taking the I'm your effing Huckleberry.
It doesn't say Huckleberry or effing, but you get the idea. I love
Actually,
it.
that was my favorite line of the whole.
Yeah.
Yeah.
sure.
Oh, that was awesome. That I went at the when that happened, I was like, okay,
Yeah.
I'm all in.
Yeah. Awesome. All right. Dave Dreher, you're up next. Your final thoughts, your score, favorite scene. Always.
Yeah, the nice little surprise with this movie. I liked it quite a bit, actually. I'm also going to give it a 4.
Nice.
Favorite scene. Let's see. I actually had 2, and the easy one is the psychic surgery scene, which was just really, really well done all the way around. And I think Crystal, you already mentioned it was kind of 2 stages, and the first stage was disturbing, and the second stage was incredibly disturbing. So I like that. I won't say the second one in case I don't think anybody else will pick it, but just in case, I'll remain silent to the end of this. So yeah, but I don't know where this will end up. Maybe it'll end up on Shudder or Hulu or somewhere. I don't know.
I would hope so.
When it finally does, watch it.
It feels like it's going to be a Shudder film. It just has the kind of quality and ambiance that a Shudder film has. All right, Crystal Cleveland, you're up next. What's your final thoughts, your score, favorite scene?
So, obviously, I think you should watch this movie. It's brilliant. I think it's done really well. I think they take a lot off of things that they were probably raised around or saw or participated in or whatever. I don't judge. Anyway, I'm going to give it a 4 1/4.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
That's good for you.
There's just something about it that, I don't know, I just really related to. I really felt it was good. My favorite scene, well, there's a lot of favorite scenes, but one of my favorite scenes is, oh God, I don't know which one. I'm going to go with the protection barrier.
Oh, that was a surprise.
That was good. That was good.
Yeah. I think that's finally the moment where everything kind of oh, okay. I get it now. I think it's the moment where the whole game changes for her. And that was...
And the story, for that matter.
Yeah.
I mean, it kind of chooses a path at that point.
Yeah. At that point, you see what's really happening. And, oh, okay. I see. So you make a decision and you move forward. So, yeah.
Mm-hmm. All right. I really like this film as well. I know I said a bunch of crap about having issues, and that's just what I was having as I was watching. I was like, what's going on here? But in the end, I really loved it. I think it has one of my favorite representations of a witch in recent films. I just really liked the Luz character. I thought there was a lot going on because she's part exorcist, right? But not really, but kind of is. And because it does take a few tropes from exorcism films, but I didn't mind that. I liked it. I liked when it was really getting into that part of it, when the candles blow out and you got shadows and, you got snakes and all kinds of critters show up and hands and shadows and, I'm giving away a lot too much. All right. I liked the leads. I liked to be honest, I liked all the characters. I liked all 4 of them, all 4 of our leads. And I'll give AJ Bowen some love too. He was great. He has a little bit in the beginning, a little bit at the end. He's fantastic. I loved his expression there at the end as well. I'm going to give this 4 1/4 as well. I really liked it. I really liked it. Really, really did. And my favorite scene is going to be this happens twice, and it's the second time. And there's something wrapped around after it that really is what I'm going for. But the 3 of you guys will know what I'm talking about, but everybody else is going to hear what I'm saying. So they use this kind of a symbol, kind of sticks, kind of in a triangle, all sewed up, and then they have these nails.
Oh, the hangman.
Was it?
The hangman crucifixion.
Right. Yeah. And the visualization of that and the representation of it, I thought was unique and also really not only well executed, but really well shot. I mean, it's just beautifully shot, and you know what it was expressing, it just really worked. And you know, it leads to a certain something that I liked even better. But I just love that idea, and I just want to, if the filmmakers actually watch this, I just want to thank you for that. I really enjoyed that. That was an incredible. I don't know. I had no idea if that was a thing. Probably is. Somebody did the research and saw that was a thing. But I just thought it was so unique and interesting for this type of film. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh wait,
Yeah,
what
it
about
was.
Dave?
It was.
What was that other scene, Dave? You had one more?
It happened twice in it. I'm not even sure I understand it, but I even chuckled when it happened the second time. But there at the beginning of the movie, when they first have her locked up, they bring in that giant jug of milk.
Oh,
And then at the end of it, when they got AJ Bowen there, and she's like, "Go get the milk."
Go get the milk.
And I was like, "What the fuck? What's up with the milk?" They never explain it, but I like the scene with the force feeding of the milk, but I would like to know what that's supposed to mean.
Like purifying.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Goat's
Yeah.
milk. Just like, you
Yeah.
got sick from the goat's milk? All right. So, so look for this film. It'll probably be in festivals if you're listening to this, as shortly after we record it. Later on, it should be streaming our VOD somewhere. This might even make it to theaters. Who knows?
That'd be cool.
It is a lot of fun, and it you feel good at the end. You really like. I did. I really liked the ending. I was just like, yeah. And I wasn't expecting to feel that way. You know, usually, they either go one way or another, right? You get the somber, we made it, or you get the, the more dour, sad ending where,
Sad and hopeful kind of.
Yeah. So, not to give too much away, but, and it doesn't affect the story going into it, but it wasn't the ending I was expecting to see going into it, and I really, really enjoyed it. And I don't want to talk anymore about it because I'm going to spoil it.
Yeah.
All right. Crystal Dave.
Luz has given you the evil eye too there.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. That evil eye. Crystal, Dave, Jeff, thank you for joining me to talk about this film. This was a lot of fun.
This was fun.
Absolutely.
Good film.
All right. Let's say goodnight.
Good night.
Night.